In today's video, we're diving deep into the latest scandals shaking the British royal family. Queen Camilla, at the age of 77, has finally broken her silence, addressing long-held suspicions and rumours related to the tragic death of Princess Diana. For decades, many have speculated that Diana's death wasn't simply a tragic accident, but the result of something far darker. And now, with Camilla's unexpected revelations, some are starting to wonder if the truth is far more complex than we ever imagined. Camilla's words have sent shockwaves through the world. She's offered insight into what might have been happening behind the palace doors during Diana's final days. Was it really an inside job, as so many conspiracy theorists have speculated for years? Camilla's statements have reignited debates about this heartbreaking chapter in royal history, raising questions that many have long been too afraid to ask. In this video, we'll break down Camilla's remarks, examine the facts surrounding Diana's death, and explore what these new revelations mean for Princess Diana's legacy, as well as the future of the royal family. First, let's rewind a bit. For years, rumours have circulated about the nature of Diana's death. Official reports say that her driver, Henri Paul, lost control of the car while fleeing from paparazzi in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris back in 1997. Henri Paul was reportedly intoxicated at the time and no foul play was suspected. But for some, that story never quite added up. Many people believe Diana's death was part of a larger, more sinister plan. After all, by that time she had become an outspoken figure, divorced from Charles, and seen as a potential threat to the monarchy. Now, with Camilla's confession, the theories of an inside job seem to carry more weight. Her comments suggest that members of the royal circle may have been involved in orchestrating events behind the scenes. But how deep does this conspiracy go? Could it really have been a coordinated effort involving multiple individuals within the royal family, or even the British state? To understand the significance of Camilla's admission, we need to look at Diana's growing role on the world stage after her separation from Charles. She transformed from a shy princess into a powerful advocate for humanitarian causes, such as her work against landmines and her support for people living with HIV/AIDS. These actions won her admiration from millions, but they may also have alienated her from the more conservative factions of the royal family. Diana's increasing independence and ability to capture the public's heart became, for some, a liability to the monarchy. One key question remains: could the royal family really have seen Diana as a threat? And if so, were there people willing to go to extreme lengths to solve the problem? In Camilla's statement, she seemingly confirms these fears. Her admission implies that Diana was perceived as a destabilizing force within the monarchy. But who would have been involved in such a plot? And more importantly, why? Let's not forget, the British media had a huge role in Diana's story. In the months leading up to her death, the paparazzi hounded her every move, especially as her relationship with Dodi Fayed became a media obsession. The idea that Diana might marry Dodi, a non-British, non-Christian man, did not sit well with some factions of British society, including, perhaps, those in the royal family. Could this relationship have been a tipping point? Camilla's confession shifts the public perception of her role as well. For years, Camilla was seen as the villain in the Charles-Diana-Camilla love triangle, with Diana famously referring to her as the third person in her marriage. But now, Camilla is playing the role of whistleblower, revealing information that could drastically alter how we view the royal family. It paints the monarchy not as an institution of duty and tradition, but as one capable of calculated, dangerous actions to protect itself. The ramifications of Camilla's words go far beyond mere gossip. They force us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about Princess Diana's life, her marriage, and her death. Diana's iconic 1995 interview with the BBC's Panorama comes to mind. In that interview, she said, "I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts," while also expressing feelings of isolation and fear within the royal family. At the time, many chalked this up to the emotional toll of her divorce. But in light of Camilla's revelations, Diana's words seem more ominous, as though she knew something dark was brewing. Now let's talk about the broader implications. If Diana's death was indeed the result of a royal conspiracy, this raises the question: how many people were involved? Could such an operation have taken place without the knowledge, or even the involvement, of the British government or intelligence agencies? And if so, were they complicit in covering it up? This new twist in the story challenges everything we know about Princess Diana's legacy. She was already seen as a symbol of compassion, grace, and resilience. Her tragic death only solidified her place as a global icon. But now, if she was truly the victim of a deliberate, orchestrated plan, her legacy takes on a new, more political dimension. She becomes not just a tragic figure, but someone who posed a genuine threat to the status quo. A figure whose death may have been necessary to preserve the power and image of the monarchy. As shocking as Camilla's words are, they also raise serious questions about the future of the British royal family. In an era where the monarchy is already facing increasing scrutiny and calls for reform, this revelation could further erode public trust. What lengths would the royal family go to in order to protect itself? Would they really be willing to silence someone as beloved as Diana? As these questions swirl, one thing is clear: Camilla's confession will have lasting ripple effects, not just for the British monarchy, but for the global public's perception of power, privilege, and the inner workings of one of the world's most secretive institutions. For those who always believed in the conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's death, Camilla's statement will feel like vindication, a confirmation that their suspicions were well-founded. But for others, it will raise a host of new questions. How much did Charles know? What role, if any, did he play in all of this? And perhaps the biggest question of all, what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? As we look back on Diana's life, we can't help but marvel at the impact she had on the world. From her charity work to her role as a mother and a global figure, Diana's legacy is monumental. But with Camilla's recent statements, we're forced to re-examine that legacy with new eyes. Was Diana's death the tragic result of a car accident, or was it something far more sinister? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more updates, and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear what you think about this new twist in Princess Diana's story. Do you think Camilla's admission will change public opinion about the royal family? Let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.